Good evening. Today is Monday, November 15th, 2021. I'd like to share with you the lives of two women of ages past, one from England and one from Hungary and Germany. The first, the earlier one, is known as Hilda of Whitby. She was born sometime around the year 610 and died in the year 680. Hilda was one of the great lights of the early Anglo-Saxon Church. The great niece of St. Edwin, King of Northumbria, she was baptized by the missionary bishop St. Paulinus of York when she was 13. While her early life was spent in secular activities, she eventually decided to serve God alone. After spending time in a number of monasteries in East Anglia, she returned home to found a new monastery at Whitby. This would remain her home for the rest of her life. Under her leadership, it would become an important center for the spread of the Christian faith in England. Whitby was a double monastery, including both men and women who lived separately, gathering together to chant their prayers. Hilda set a standard for holiness, wisdom, and scholarship. She served as a gifted spiritual director, and 5 of her monks went on to become bishops. Through her example, as her biographer St. Bede wrote, Hilda promoted the observance of righteousness, mercy, purity, and other virtues, but especially peace and charity. In her monastery, no one was rich or poor. In 664, Whitby was chosen as the site for an important church synod to resolve tensions between the Roman model of episcopal authority and the more monastic model characteristic of the Celtic Church. Hilda favored the latter, but the synod decided otherwise. Her last counsel to her community was to maintain the gospel peace among yourselves and with others. She died in November 680. The second woman you may have heard of. She is known as Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. She was born in 1207 and died at age 24 in 1231. She was the daughter of Hungarian royalty and was betrothed as a child of age 4 to Ludwig, the 9-year-old prince of Thuringia in southern Germany. Despite this arrangement, the two children established a close friendship that eventually blossomed into a loving marriage. Elizabeth bore 3 children, but Ludwig's family disapproved of her piety, and especially her excessive charity towards the poor and sick. Ignoring their wishes, she opened the royal granaries during a time of famine. This won her the people's devotion, though such generosity made her an object of scorn among the elite members of the court. In 1227, Ludwig embarked on a crusade and died on the journey. In a paroxysm of grief, Elizabeth cried, "The world is dead to me, and all that was joyous in the world." Without her husband's protection, she was at the mercy of her in-laws. They banished her from the court, forcing her to leave the palace on a winter night carrying nothing but her newborn child. She accepted shelter in a pig shed. Eventually, to avoid scandal, she was provided with a simple cottage, where she supported herself by spinning and fishing. Otherwise, she visited the sick in their homes or in the hospices she had endowed. Over time, her reputation for holiness spread, and she earned the grudging respect of those who had persecuted her. She died on November 17, 1231, at the age of 24. A quotation from St. Elizabeth of Hungary: "We must give to God what we have, gladly and with great joy." I wish you a pleasant evening.